Welcome to the Red Bull Arena, where the two teams are ready to go in the tunnel. They're ready to take to the field. Salzburg took a steady step towards the UEFA Champions League by completing a routine 5-2 victory over SK Brugge last week. But overcoming Belgian side Club Brugge over 2 legs would feel like a giant hurdle in the right direction for the Red Bulls at the start of this new season. It's the third round of UEFA Champions League qualification, and Red Bull Salzburg are looking to reach the group or league phase for the 7th straight season. This club has carved out its place amongst Europe's elite in recent years, and although it's nice to have a place in the Europa League already in the bank, Red Bull Salzburg want more. The fans expect more, and to deliver more, Salzburg will have to make their way past the Belgian runners-up from last season, Club Brugge. The pundits are calling Club, as they're often known in Belgium, the favourites for this two-legged tie. But Thomas Lech was not to be drawn on that particular topic. The man in the Salzburg dugout sees this as an even contest. Two teams with plenty of recent experience in the Champions League. Two teams who are used to seeing top players sold in the summers. And two teams who will be giving it everything to get back to the Champions League once again. The visitors in blue and black, they have impressed on the European stage in the last few years. They reached the last 16 in the season just gone, seeing off Atalanta in the knockout playoff round before coming unstuck against Aston Villa of the Premier League. But Maxime de Kuiper, Shamsuddin Talbi, they've both moved on from the club since then for 20 million euros each. Maybe departures like those can give the Red Bulls a chance to trouble Club Brugge in their first European game of the season. Salzburg have already come through one round. They're just that little bit more warmed up for this third qualification round contest. But Salzburg have, of course, lost key European performers too. The likes of Samson Baidoo moving to Lens in France, Nicolas Capaldo off to Hamburg. The influential Oscar Gloch, of course, completing his switch to Ajax for around 15 million euros this week. Salzburg have mastered challenges like these in the past. Now it's time to show that they can do it again in UEFA Champions League qualifying. High fives and handshakes between the two teams. And the referee Srđan Jovanovic of Serbia will have a look at the starting lineups out of this crunch home tie for Red Bull Salzburg. Thomas Lech has opted for 2 changes to the side, which got the Bundesliga campaign started at the weekend. It's Jorba Vertessen and Dojele Nene who come in to replace Karimoni Ziwo and Edmund Baidoo in the attack. Soumaïla Diabate did start at the weekend, but he's the only other change to the lineup in comparison to last week's home leg against SK Brugge. That finished in a rather subdued 1-1 draw in the rain. The conditions couldn't be more different. Salzburg fired up to go one better this time. The home draw was easily enough to see off SK Brugge last time out, but they'll have to do more. They expect to do more against Club Brugge. A step up tonight against a tradition seat Belgian club. The two captains, Mes Bidstrup and Hans van Aken, just going through the coin toss and the exchange of the pennants. Here's a look at Thomas Lech's starting 11. The back four remains the same. Kretzig, Rasmussen, Gadou and Leiner play in front of Alex Schlager. Diabate alongside Bidstrup in the defensive midfield role. Mark Kiergaard over on the left-hand side. He blasted in the free kick to keep the tie nice and calm against SK Brugge last week. He starts on the left side with the live wire. Sotakitano on the right, and Nene and Vertessen up front. Here's a look at what Nicky Hayen has to offer from his starting 11. Mignolet, the experienced hand, back in goal. 2 changes for Hayen compared to the team which fell to a shock 2-1 defeat at the weekend. Mignolet in between the sticks, and Bjorn Meyer, the other new face, over on the left-hand side as the team mix things up in terms of their defensive shape compared to a team which were shocked by Mechelen at the weekend. They dominated that game. They didn't come away with any points. Salzburg almost suffered the same fate at the hands of SV Ried as well, but they came back, they stuck to the task and clawed back to get a point. Can they go better in the UEFA Champions League? It's Brugge who get things underway. Club Brugge in the black and blue will get us kicked off at the Red Bull Arena. Salzburg get the first touch of the ball with Stevie Leiner. Escobran managed to find a goal right at the beginning of the game last week. A disastrous start for the Red Bulls. They'll be absolutely desperate to go better and settle into the tie much quicker tonight. It's controlled well in the midfield. Kitano Sota, watch out for him. Loves to dart forward. Really put in a tireless performance a week ago. Sota Kitano looks to be an excellent new addition to Thomas Lecce's team for this new season. They might be able to win the ball back in a good position here. Club just about keep hold of it, and they'll poke it towards Van Aken, the captain, in the centre circle. They can spread play out to the left-hand side. They do like to get forward. These are two teams who really make their name with attacking football. The first touch of the evening for Alexander Schlager, the man in the orange goalkeeper's jersey. Schlager and Mignolet will surely see plenty of action this evening if the teams are able to get their play philosophy out on the field in the way that they like to do so. Salzburg love to push forward, play the quick transitions, get players in behind, give them a chance to run onto the ball and cause danger whenever possible, as quickly as possible, in the blink of an eye. The tie last week against Brann didn't really call for that. Salzburg were not at their attacking best. There's more to come in Europe from this team, and the players will be keen to prove it as well, not just to the fans but to Thomas Lecce. Meyer takes the throw in, but it's only as far as Van Aken who can blast it up into the air. Credit to Van Aken. He blasted it up and all the way across, and it was right on point. Club keep hold of it. Out to the left they go. Bjorn Meyer, the 22-year-old, will pick it back up on the left-hand side. Michela, the defender, knocks it across the defensive line, and Salzburg will have the chance to apply some pressure. This is what we want to see. Salzburg pushing forward, trying their best to keep Club Brugge under pressure when they've got the ball in those defensive positions. This time it's away for another Meyer throw-in. Salzburg have to stop Club Brugge from settling into this game. It's their first European outing of the season, Club Brugge. Salzburg have already had those two games, the away trip to Bergen in Norway, where a really strong second half put the tie beyond all doubt, and then the rather more subdued home leg, where the 4-1 advantage that they'd earned in the first leg never really looked like it was under threat. Salzburg were able to coast through to this third round stage. The winner of this tie will go on to face either Rangers of Scotland or Victoria Pilsen of Czechia. Rangers with a 3-0 advantage after the first leg of that tie, but no real thoughts on a potential meeting with Rangers just yet. I'll mention it right now at the start of the game, but all focus for both of these teams is on tonight's opponent first and foremost. Nobody will be looking ahead to that Champions League playoff qualifier just yet. Turn and move from Onyedika. Can't work out any space though. Salzburg can win it back quickly. The pass was a little bit slow from Bistrup. I'm not sure he knew exactly which of the four teammates that he wanted to play that to. Good stuff from Salzburg though. Able to apply that pressure. They've got the home support behind them. Difficult for home fans, these UEFA Champions League qualifiers. Of course, this tie was only confirmed less than a week ago when the victory over Escobran was in the books. Fans don't have much time to react and plan their weeks as the ball is spread out towards the corner on the right-hand side. The defensive header had to be a good one. A couple of players missing for Club Brugge at the moment. Can Salzburg take advantage of that? This has been kept in play really well. Is there a first shooting opportunity of the afternoon or evening for Red Bull Salzburg? There is. It's Sorte Kitano, but it's blocked. Unfortunately, Vertessen was in there as well. Salzburg couldn't find a clear path through to the goal, but look at that great work from Mes Bidstrup. Did so well to keep it in play. It caught out the Club Brugge defence, and it nearly led to a good opening for Kitano, but Jorba Vertessen, rather unluckily, was the man in the way. Good positive start from the Red Bulls though. 5.5 minutes played. Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 0. Still 2 more rounds to go before UEFA Champions League phase qualification is secure for either of these teams. Salzburg desperate to get back in the big time. They've become so accustomed to it in recent seasons. They filled up the trophy cabinet. They've made their way into the Champions League and they've impressed at that stage. Salzburg so good at bringing through young talents, bringing through big players. You only have to look at the transfer headlines all around European football this week. Just another example. Benjamin Šeško, keenly in the interest of several Premier League clubs. Perhaps the most hotly anticipated transfer in European football right now will be where Šeško goes, and he's just one of many to have come through Salzburg to then move on to the world's acclaim. There are star players in this Salzburg lineup too, and they want to get out there and prove it on the big stage in the UEFA Champions League. It is a big hurdle to overcome first though against Club Brugge. There's plenty standing in Salzburg's way right now. These are the challenges that you face over the course of a season. So difficult this early in the season as well, right at the start of the campaign, and you come up against opponents as good and as experienced as Club Brugge. Crucial games in the very first phase of this new season for Thomas Lech and his Salzburg team. It's a big test of character today to see how they stand up against Club Brugge. A good result to take away to Belgium for next week. That would do Thomas Lech's team a world of good. The start so far has been a mixed bag with some positives in there too. The second half against Brann being the big highlight. A professional display in the first round of the Cup as well. Diabate was one of the players to really impress in that Cup game with some sensational through balls, creating chances, but it's the passing into the box from Club that has earned them the corner with 8 minutes on the clock. Rasmussen it was, with no opportunity other than to turn the ball behind. Set piece chance for the visitors. Ludovic Reis will be the one to take it. Right-footed, out-swinging, it's low and it's awkward. Well, it was going wide of the front post. The Salzburg defenders couldn't take any risks from that position though. Spileers steps inside, made room for something. Could only pass the ball off towards Joaquin Seys. All the way back it goes to the vastly experienced Mignolet. Played more than 200 times for Liverpool. Had a long spell at Sunderland in England as well, Mignolet, before going back to Belgium with Club Brugge in 2019. More than 200 appearances in the jersey for Club as well by now. His understudy was in goal at the weekend in that 2-1 upset. Salzburg will have some sympathy with Club Brugge though. Nicky Hayen's team dropping points surprisingly away against Mechelen, but Salzburg had to get a 96th minute leveller in their Bundesliga opener against promoted SV Ried. It was a dominant performance from Thomas Lech's team. They're just missing the regular goal scoring at the moment. Plenty of players willing to chip in with goals and able to chip in with goals, but with the likes of Karim Konate out with a knee injury for a long time. Salzburg do just seem to be lacking in terms of an out-and-out goal scorer who you can guarantee will be getting up into double figures early on in the season. There's a slip there and it could open up something for Salzburg on the counter. Appeals for handball, but Salzburg play it away to the left-hand side for Tessen. Spilier's in a bit of trouble in the defence for Tessen. Good turn away on the touchline. For Tessen battling so hard, he's got teammates in the middle if he can find somebody. Shooting chance, Mignolet parries it away to safety. Brilliant attack. That was carved out through sheer hard work from Jobbe for Tessen. Salzburg didn't give up on the play, even when the initial counter chance seemed to slip away from them. And it culminated in Mau Kiergaard hammering the ball towards Mignolet's goal. Just over 10 minutes gone. There was the touch from Vertessen that really brought the attack to life. Knocked it back awkwardly, really, for Kiergaard. It was behind him, but he turned well and he found some real venom in the strike. Mignolet was there to parry. First big chance of the game for Red Bull Salzburg. Now this one's given away. Brugge have it in a central position. The referee's going to play advantage here, but it will be a Club Brugge free kick. In a very central position. Well, Kiergaard, who just had that shot parried, he scored from a set piece a week ago. Now Salzburg have the defending to do. Romeo Fomant is the man who's getting back to his feet. Just lifted it up and over, had the legs clipped by Rasmussen, who was trying to get out of the way. Well, that camera angle gives you a great view of how dangerous this is for Alexander Schlager and his defenders. The Red Bulls will have to build a brick wall here to stop Club Brugge. Hans van Aken, unsurprisingly the man standing over this free kick. It's central, is it too central? Can he get this up and over the wall and back down? Schlager on his toes, Van Aken into the wall. The follow-up is hammered back towards the box though and headed away cleanly. Van Aken denied twice in succession. Solis, down the left-hand side they go, into the corner. Meyer blocked out well, but Salzburg can't keep it in. Kiergaard tried to get a foot in on the touchline. Throw in Van Aken. The long ball spreads across towards Joachim Seys, but he'll have to chase back to keep that one in play. Salzburg will be pleased. That is exactly what we want to see. The first big set-piece chance for Club Brugge. Defended well, not just once, but twice. Salzburg keep their cool. And they've shown that they can bare their teeth in attack as well. Can they put pressure on now? Onyedika in a bit of trouble, and the ball loops back kindly towards Simon Mignolet. Bistrup, when he plays like that, really reminiscent of Xaver Schlager rather, not Alex Schlager playing in goal, but Xaver Schlager. Another midfield workhorse who just wouldn't give up on the chasing. And talking about not giving up, there was Vertessen battling so hard to get the ball back to Kiergaard. Was comfortable enough in terms of the position for Mignolet. It was a little bit too central, the shot, but considering the ball was laid down behind him, now Kiergaard did well, and again the pressure puts Club Brugge in all kinds of trouble in defence. They're trying to play the ball out calmly, and Salzburg just are not letting them right now. Brugge do get it over the halfway line this time, and they'll drop it out to the right hand side. Solis lays it back. Mechele scored 3 times in 40 league appearances from defence last season. One of several players on the pitch who appeared in 12 UEFA Champions League games last season. No shortage of UEFA Champions League experience between the players in these teams. Plenty of young faces who are desperate for more Champions League experience, but enough old heads in there as well who've been around the block and played a lot of European football for their clubs. Bistrup rather unusually getting shrugged off the ball there by Rafael Onyedika. Reis. Rafael Onyedika. Out left they go. Quarter of an hour played. The best chance for Red Bull Salzburg came from the pullback from Jorbe Vertessen. And Mau Kiergaard lashing the ball goalwards, only to be met by the palms of Simon Mignolet. And it's Mignolet in possession now. Brugge with the best chances, really, from corners and free kicks so far. They haven't been able to carve out too much from on the ground. Salzburg have kept them pegged back in their final third with some good pressing. Again, there's no time to operate for the Club Brugge players, but they've managed to get that one back into defence. Michele again will have to play it across towards Mignolet. Nowhere else to go. They are patient in the build-up though, Club Brugge. Salzburg going for that 7th straight UEFA Champions League qualification. They've had more than a taste of UEFA Champions League league phase or group stage action. They want to go back for more, and they know that tonight's game is a really key contest in terms of qualification. Getting a result, a good result here in Salzburg to take away to Brugge for next week, that will be vital in what will be a really challenging away game. Salzburg need to go in with a good platform from tonight's match. That puts a little bit more pressure on Thomas Lecce's team, but they thrive in such situations. They'll have to rise to the occasion tonight. 17 minutes on the clock, still Red Bull Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 0. Both teams still finding their feet in the contest. That's a good quick touch. And there's space out on the left-hand side. Van Aken, good delivery into the middle. Schlager will be able to pounce on that one. So Alex Schlager has the ball at his feet. Xaver Schlager, who I mentioned earlier, the former Salzburg man, of course. He was a big figure the last time the two teams met on this particular ground. It was a slightly different era back then, but in 2019, Red Bull Salzburg fans probably won't need reminding that it was a 4-0 win for the Red Bulls against Club Brugge. Brugge had won their home leg by 2-1. Salzburg came away with a 4-0 on this ground to sail through their tie in the Europa League, and that's great work from Kitano. Sent it all the way through towards Jorbe Vertessen. Vertessen was just squeezed out by two defenders. Kitano goes down expecting a free kick. Referee Jovanovic waves him back to his feet. Looked like a shove in the back there on Sota Kitano. Nothing doing. Bistrup turns and lays it off for Leiner. A really sensible decision to bring back Leiner to Red Bull Salzburg. His nous, his match play experience. He knows what it takes to win in Bundesliga football and in European football. It's that kind of experience maybe that Red Bull Salzburg were missing at times in the last couple of years. It's all very well trying to replace young talented players with flair and give them the freedom to go and impress out on the field, but you do need some old experienced heads as well. Players who've been there and done it all. Players who can help galvanise a team in the tough moments, and there will be tough moments in games like this one against Brugge. Over the two legs, Salzburg will have to suffer at times, but they've got to make sure that they can get forward and show what they can do as well when the opportunity arises. Again, the pressure is good. Brugge this time able to sneak away down the left-hand side. Maya. Solis brings it inside. Space for Van Aken. Threads a through ball into the box really nicely. And it's good defensive work from Soumaïla Diabate. Great vision and awareness from the number 5 to sprint back into the box, into the right position. And again, it's a corner from over on the right-hand side for Club Brugge with 20 minutes on the clock. Well, it just evidenced what I was saying, that Salzburg will have to hold up and stay strong against the threat of Club Brugge, because they do, of course, pose a big threat at times. Van Aken didn't need any second invitation there to thread the pass into the middle, and now it's another corner. Higher, this one, it's headed away, up and over the top. The defence had a handle on it. Maya getting underneath the ball, but couldn't turn it towards the goal. There are some other key players missing for Club Brugge, which will perhaps open up more opportunities for Red Bull Salzburg over the course of this tie. Joel Ordonez being one of those key players. The young centre-back linked with a move to Marseille and not in the squad. Gustav Nielsen also missing out on the matchday squads, and Ardon Yashari, the 23-year-old Swiss player, making a move to Milan, but Salzburg are on the front foot again here. The low cross is swept away for a throw-in. It was Franz Kretzig who was getting forward down that left-hand side. Can be a real danger, Kretzig, when he gets into those advanced positions. Watch out for more of that later on. Really exemplifies the overlapping fullback duties. Franz Kretzig had a spell in Austria before with Austria Wien. Now already seemingly settling in very well at the Red Bulls. Unfortunately picked up 2 yellow cards in the draw against SV Ried at the weekend. And as I said, the Red Bulls dominated that game, but although they scored twice, they needed that late leveller. Didn't give up too many chances, but SV Ried somehow managed to find the back of the net twice. And that will just light a little extra fire in this Salzburg team to go out there and really impress today against Club Brugge. There's just a little bit more to prove, having not made the start to life in the Bundesliga this season that they wanted. Points dropped already. They weren't the only one of the big teams to drop points, but it's certainly not the start that Thomas Lech nor the supporters had imagined. Credit must be given to sticking to the task, though, right to the death. Vertessen equalising in the 96th minute of that game, and now Kitano tries to drop it back towards Dorjele Nene. He was lurking in a good spot there, Nene, but the marker came across to cover it. Bistrup can pick up the ball in a bit of space, though. He's got room out to the right-hand side. Kitano. Comfortable in possession, Kitano, but didn't see a good option in front of himself. Diabate gets it down towards Nene. Again, Club Brugge just marshalling things backwards, but Salzburg holding on to possession in the attacking half. Kjærgaard, he can shoot from there, and he will shoot from there, and it's enough to earn Red Bull Salzburg a corner kick on the left-hand side. Into the 25th minute we go in this first half. Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 0. Salzburg with the corner. Club Brugge have had a couple from over on the right-hand side, but they've not been able to do much with them. Can Salzburg show some better efficiency in front of goal? Kjærgaard over to take the corner. It'll be a left footer from Mal Kjærgaard. Swings it out towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Decent header away. Kitano can pick it up on the edge of the box. Fires off a shot, but it's blocked and sent flying up into the air as it bounces up towards the touchline. Had it already crossed the line? The linesman says yes, it had. The referee Srđan Jovanovic will signal for a Salzburg throw. Up to the halfway line, but the pass is picked off there. Salzburg could do with avoiding moments like that as often as possible. In the last couple of phases of attack, they really held on to the ball well and waited for something to happen, biding their time until an opportunity opened up. But this time, it's given away, and it has to be cleared outside the box. Bistrup did well there with Vertessen in the area alongside him. They both managed to communicate and get out of each other's way. Soumaïla Diabate. It's played long over the top, but the club defenders able to backtrack there. It's not easy to loop one over the top of Spileers, Mechelen and Seys. Solis, the number 8, certainly a key man for Nicky Hyen's team. It's the 60th club match for the number 8, Christos Solis. Put in a man of the match performance, Solis, as Club Brugge won the Super Cup at the start of this season in Belgium. They beat Union Saint-Gilloise. It was a 2-1 win back in July that gave them that Super Cup victory. Van Aken and Solis on the score sheet. Solis with an early penalty. Van Aken scoring in first half stoppage time. That was the ideal return to domestic action for Club Brugge. Since then, a win under defeat in league football. This being their first European game of the season. Rasmussen alert to the danger. Club tried to get it around the corner there. Vermont dropping the pass off towards the run of Hugo Vetlesen. Good work from Jakob Rasmussen, but they'll still have to defend this throw-in. A little bit of space to lift the ball into the middle. There is an aerial threat from Club Brugge. Salzburg have been equal to it so far in the game. Yet again, another decent ball in is headed away well. Salzburg really up to the task in those aerial duels in the box. So far so good for Thomas Letsch's team. Onyedika, the pass took a touch on its way through, but it will make its way to the right-hand side for Club. Again, they look to thread an almost improbable ball into the area. It's Van Aken who's got all the confidence in the world. But talking of confidence, Dorjele Nene trying to turn on the afterburners and get around Jonas Spileers. Pass inside is a good one. Kiergaard, little pocket of space. Pass deflected, and it was rather fortunate for the Belgian visitors. Well, if you're thinking of making your way to the Jan Breidel Stadium, I suppose, in Brugge for the game on the 12th of August. Kick-off 7:30 next week for the second leg. The Jan Breidel Stadium is something of an unusual one in UEFA terms. But here is Salzburg in the box with a shooting chance. Shot blocked, appeals for handball. It was Meyer who got behind it, and Salzburg will win this back again in a good position. Kiergaard chips it out for Nene. I'll put talk of the second leg on hold here, while Salzburg keep hold of the ball inside the final third, or at least on the edge of it. Approaching half an hour gone in Salzburg. Still 0-0. Both teams with half chances, but Alex Schlager yet to really make a meaningful intervention in the Salzburg goal, as Mignolet has made one solid stop to deny Kiergaard. Cheap free kick given away. Kredzig not happy. It was a really soft drop to the ground. Here's a look at the chance that opened up just then. Vertessen snatched at the shot a little bit. It certainly did hit the arm of Bjorn Meyer. The arm was tucked in next to his body, though. You can't really make too much of a big penalty claim from that situation. But again, it's well blocked. Kitano. He'll chase down the ball that he himself has pushed back towards the corner flag. And Salzburg can win it back. It's unfortunate. Diabate slipping to the ground, losing his footing. Another good example of Salzburg pressure paying dividends against Club Brugge. You're never going to have a perfect pressing rate, but they are keeping Club Brugge on their toes here. Sometimes Brugge can get away and get it over the halfway line, of course, but oftentimes the ball's been blocked or deflected, and it wouldn't take much for one of those to end up in a really dangerous situation for Red Bull Salzburg. Now they've got a counter more under their own control. Stevie Leiner drops it back into the centre. Kitano, the pass out to the left, not a good one. Kitano just miscued at the key moment. Leiner coming in with a thunderous challenge to win the ball back and again keep it back in the Brugge final third. Salzburg thundering forward, low ball into the middle. The shot towards the near post was not a bad one. Nice idea from Jorbe Vertessen. Salzburg looking confident in attack. They're taking the game to Club Brugge. Kretzig on the overlap, low ball in. It was a little too close to the front post for Jorbe Vertessen. They didn't have much of an angle to work with. Tried to dink the ball towards Mignolet's front post, but couldn't get it on target. I'm not sure Mignolet would have got across to that. He acted casual as if he was letting it go, but had that caught the inside of the front post, I don't know if Mignolet would have had time to adjust and get down to it. Two men forcing it backwards. Vertessen makes sure that it goes back towards Mechelen in the club defence. Mechelen on the ball again and still sees no other option but to go back to Spileers in the defence. Now they'll try and bypass everybody in midfield. Leiner needs a shout that nobody's lurking over his shoulder, and Stevie Leiner can let it go. Thumbs up for the Salzburg defenders. Nicky Hayen sitting back in the dugout already, looking maybe to make some moves, change some things around. Salzburg having the better of the opportunities at the moment. Ball on to chase there, and chase it they can. Dojele Nene down in the box. Well, the Salzburg players look towards referee Srđan Jovanovic. The man in sky blue remains unmoved. The ball over the top was flicked on cleverly by Jorbe Vertessen. There was a lot of chasing to be done for Dojele Nene. He was able to show off his formidable turn of pace. He gave Jonas Spileers all kinds of difficulty on another day. Well, a penalty could have been given there. Spileers holds his head, but he was beaten for pure pace there by Dojele Nene. Nene, who's played in Belgium before with Westerlo. Wow, he was terrifying the Club Brugge defence with that sprint into the box. It looked like he was never going to catch up all that kind of ground and win that foot race in the area, but he just breezed past Spileers. Nene giving chase once again. More promising moments for Red Bull Salzburg. Brugge can cause problems themselves, of course, though. Van Aken looking to do just that. Good ball across the middle, and it's side-footed towards goal, and it had to be cleared away. That was an opportunity that had a lot of promise for Club Brugge. They've been in trouble at the back, but when they get into the final third, they do really believe in themselves. Again, finding space down that left-hand side. A couple of low crosses in the 35 minutes that we've played already have been cleared rather more easily than that one, but that one had more about it. There was more chance of a good finish. And again, the low cross. This time it is cut out. Another one looking dangerous, another one that keeps the Salzburg defenders working hard, but they've been up to the task so far and up to the challenge of everything that Club Brugge have thrown at them in these first 35 minutes of action. The low square ball from just about a minute ago was the first one that really picked out a black and blue shirt in the middle to try and side foot the ball towards the goal of Alex Schlager. Salzburg had red and white shirts where they needed them, though, to make the important blocks. Meyer. Back it goes to Ludovic Reis. Out of play. Salzburg throw. That was the second chance. Jakob Rasmussen with a really good sliding challenge down towards the front post to cut out the pass. I make it that the one before that was the more dangerous of the two, though. Vertessen down on the ground in the Club Brugge half, holding on to his left thigh. Brandon Michele helps him back to his feet. Michele, at 32 years of age, one of the most senior figures in the two teams today. He was climbing all over the back of Vertessen there. Michele had both hands on the shoulders to get some leverage up into the air, which is not really allowed. Vertessen was then clipped afterwards. Pass out towards Meyer. It was a difficult one for the number 14, but the left-sided number 14 managed to knock it down the line, but Meyer couldn't do anything more with it. Couldn't pick out a teammate. Played twice in the UEFA Champions League last season, Meyer. There are a couple of young faces in this Club Brugge team who are just making their way up from the next generation Club Brugge towards the senior side, the likes of Jonas Spieleers at just 20 years of age. Joaquin Seis on the other side, also 20 years of age. He's got a few more Champions League appearances under his belt. He's a little further along on his way towards the Brugge first team. But both of them in action tonight against Red Bull Salzburg. And Salzburg are back in the final third. Through ball is a good one. The touch into the box is excellent. Mignolet makes the stop down towards the byline. The chance is still alive, though, for Salzburg. Can they head it towards the target? They can. It's pandemonium in the Club Brugge box, and eventually the referee's whistle brings the attack to an end. The offside flag was up. There was potential in that for Salzburg. This flick again from Vertessen. It released Kretzig in the area. His first touch let him down. It took him too far away towards the byline on the left-hand side. And Mignolet was always in the better position from there. And Kretzig coming back was offside. But the link up there with Diabate, Vertessen and Kretzig, that really had some promise for Salzburg. It was just that touch from Kretzig that just allowed the ball to slip away down the left-hand side and really gave him no angle on goal. Mignolet always the favourite from that position, but the passing up until that point was excellent from the Red Bulls. Now they've got to be on their toes at the other end. Solis sends it all the way across. Kretzig doing his defensive duties and doing them well. He's unlucky not to come away with the ball there. Reis cuts it back into the box. Salzburg as calm as you like, bringing out the passing triangles inside their own area. It's cleared away, but Solis will have it back. Just over 5 minutes to play before the interval in the first half of this UEFA Champions League third qualification round, first leg tie. Austria's runners-up against Belgium's runners-up. Ball won back. Sota Kitano plays it away down the wing, but the referee's whistle had already gone. It's Van Aken, who really was hardly touched there. Uses all of his experience to know when to give up and look towards the referee. Thomas Letsch, who was right over there next to the spot of the foul, as we'll call it in inverted commas. But it does give Club Brugge the ball. They've got it in Salzburg's half. It's spread out towards the right-hand side. It's volleyed back across the middle, and Schlager has to be alert, but there's a follow-up here. Rasmussen in the way to make the block. Salzburg hold on against a dangerous Club Brugge opportunity. The cross just drifted towards the back post. It would have been harsh on Salzburg had that come from such a soft free kick. Good work from Romeo Vermont, just drifting in to keep that one alive, but Schlager made the initial stop and was backed up by his defenders. Club Brugge corner though. Ludovic Reis again to take with the right foot. This time he'll play it back outside of the area. Says down to the right hand side it goes. The step over is a good one, and it's headed behind for another corner. Stevie Liner this time, the last line of defence. Well, it would be so disappointing for Salzburg if they were to concede at this point. They've had the better chances in the first 40 minutes of this game. There was an appeal there for handball against Rasmussen, but that would have been as harsh as they come. Corner's taken. Mechele trying to get on the end of it. This one's still alive though. Again, the ball bounces dangerously in the box, but again, the red and white shirts can get behind it and they can boot it away to safety. Mignolet will pick it up in the centre circle. Lofts it out to the right hand side. Header to nobody from Van Aken. Salzburg will try and take this quickly. That shows the confidence that Red Bull Salzburg have here on home turf. Brugge looking dangerous, but Salzburg have got the threat themselves. Nene. Kretzig. Diabate. He's got Liner across to the right. Opts for Rasmussen instead. Nene. Kretzig down towards the byline. Couldn't quite keep it in play. The referee waited for confirmation, but you can see the clear air behind the line. Kretzig doing his best to get down there, like I said he would. Always looks for the return pass down in that left corner. Often plays the ball down by the byline from positions like that, but this time just a split second too slow to get there. Out it goes. Bistrup just biting away to try and get the ball back. Just doesn't stop working, Mads Bistrup. He's wearing the captain's armband. He's a real leader out there in the centre for Salzburg. The referee's wondering why Club Brugge have not taken the throw-in, and they've gained a few extra yards down the line as well. And another one is blocked for Tessen this time, sending the ball ricocheting back towards Simon Mignolet. We're into the 45th minute of the first half here in Salzburg. Red Bull Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 0. One hairy moment in the Red Bull Salzburg penalty area just a minute ago. Rasmussen was in the way. He's made a couple of key blocks in this game. He's another one settling in to the Red Bull Salzburg lineup at the start of this new campaign. It's chipped in towards the box and headed over, and that one sliced back towards Alexander Schlager, but he's able to gather it comfortably. Not the finest moment of Jakob Rasmussen's evening. Feels almost like an afternoon here in Salzburg. It's beautiful weather, beautiful blue skies, a complete contrast to the heavy rain in last week's game against Escorbran. It is an earlier kickoff tonight, a couple of hours earlier than the game last week. But the sun has kindly stayed out and the temperatures have stayed just about right for an evening's football game. It's just under 20 degrees locally in Salzburg. Not the energy-sapping warmth that we sometimes see in the summers here, but not cold and wet either. Back it goes. We're already more than halfway through the one allotted extra minute. Joan Gadou back on the ball. Gadou will send it back to Schlager. And that might be all we get for this first half. Can Schlager knock it long and make one last Red Bull Salzburg attack before the half-time whistle blows? No, he cannot. Referee Jovanovic blows the whistle to bring to an end the first 45 minutes in Salzburg. It's Club Brugge who will probably be the slightly happier of the two teams to go in with the game goalless. They have had chances themselves, Nicky Hayen's team. But overall, Alexander Schlager has not had too much to do. Jakob Rasmussen has blocked a couple of half chances. A couple of good crosses that have been cut out as well. But Simon Mignolet made one really solid save to deny Malkiergaard. And other than that, it's been Jorbe Vertessen who's had a couple of shots blocked, a couple of chances to test Simon Mignolet that haven't really led to a carved-out opening on goal for Salzburg yet. Dorgelé Néné using his pace to get around the back of the Club Brugge defence. Maybe a penalty shout for Salzburg, but nothing was given by referee Jovanovic. And so the half-time score is Red Bull Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 0.
Come on, come on. Sota, vamos, Jordi. What did they say? What did they say?
The half-time interval is almost over in Salzburg, and it was a positive first 45 minutes for the Red Bulls on the whole. The defence have held up well against a quality opponent, and there have been chances to test Simon Mignolet too. But with this being the first leg, the home leg for Red Bull Salzburg, they will want to do a little bit more in the second half and really take this game to Club Brugge. It is imperative for Red Bull Salzburg to give themselves a great platform to take back to the Jan Breidel Stadium next week. It's an interesting ground as well, the Jan Breidel. One that's in need of renovation, really. It's host to Club Brugge and Cercle Brugge as well, which is a club, of course, managed by Onno Chinel and Florence Koch. Onno Chinel being the former caretaker and assistant manager, of course, at Red Bull Salzburg. But it's not Cercle Brugge who are Club Brugge's rivals for tonight. It is Red Bull Salzburg who are standing against the Black and Blues. The second half is underway. The ball back towards Alex Schlager. The second 45 begins to tick down. Salzburg, after a really decent first 45, under a bit more pressure now to push on in the game and get that first goal in the tie. Kretzig, Mau Kiergaard, who perhaps came closer than anybody in the first half by stinging the palms of Simon Mignolet, struck the ball fiercely towards the target with the ball behind him after it was cut back from the left-hand side. Vertessen doing really well to work hard and earn the ball down that left-hand side in the first half, but Sorta Kitano has stayed down here. He's holding his neck, which is not a great sign. I wonder if the ball just hit him on the side of the face or something. I didn't see exactly what happened to him. We'll get a better look at it here. It was the arm, the loose arm of Jonas Spileers. Certainly a painful one for the Japanese player. Only 20 years of age, the new signing, Kitano. Scored 4 times and got 4 assists at Cerezo Osaka, his former club last year. Really influential as well, of course, in the game against Escobron. Salzburg trailing, and then they came back to win 4-1. Sorta Kitano, not on the score sheet himself, but instrumental in 2 of the goals for Red Bull Salzburg in the last round. That was in the second round of Champions League qualification. Red Bull Salzburg, of course, comfortably moving on to this third qualification round matchup against Club Brugge. A big hurdle standing between Salzburg and the Champions League right now. There's still a playoff round to come, even if they get past Club Brugge. But confidence would be sky high if Salzburg can take out Club Brugge. Then both Rangers and Victoria Pilsen, whichever of those 2 teams gets through, they will be very, very wary of the threat posed by the winner of this tie. Salzburg have UEFA Europa League phase football in the bank. That's a really important backup for Thomas Lecce's team. But they want more. They've become accustomed to more. Salzburg, a regular fixture now in UEFA Champions League action, and they want to be back there in UEFA's elite European club competition. They've had a taste of the Club World Cup this summer, of course, as well. That seems to have done the squad a whole lot of good. A good reset ahead of this season. It meant that the summer break was shorter. It's been an exhausting summer, but at the same time, it's refreshing to go and test yourselves against some of the best teams from the world over. Salzburg will win it back. Kitano, who's back up on his feet and okay to continue, gets it back to Mesbistro. Rasmussen, who did a lot of the heavy lifting for the Salzburg defence before the break. Kretzig lays it off. Kiergaard, he's got runners in front of him. Nene. Vertessen again. So keen to play the quick passes, Vertessen, and he usually gets them right. That not quite his best. Keeps the other Salzburg attackers on their toes, Vertessen. You know, when the ball goes into the feet of the number 11, he'll look for the quick offload and try and thread something through to an overlapping runner almost immediately. It keeps the defence guessing. It worked out a couple of times in the first half to carve open a bit of space behind the Club Brugge defence, but other than that powerful shot from Kjærgaard, Simon Mignolet didn't have too much to do. There was one glaring opportunity when Frans Kretzig got on the end of just such a quick combination link-up. Diabate, Vertessen and Kretzig involved, but Kretzig's first touch in the box took him too far away to the left and reduced the angle. It put Simon Mignolet in a good position, and Mignolet was able to make the save. Kretzig back on the ball and lays it in towards Kjærgaard. Gadu. Round the corner they go. Kitano, the overlapping runner. Can he cut something back? He'll earn the corner. 5 minutes into the second half. Salzburg's attacking endeavours earn them a set-piece chance from the right-hand side. Positive start again. Salzburg reacting almost to what was a little bit of a stalemate here last week against Escobarán. The tie was done and dusted at that point, with the game at 1-1 and the tie on aggregate at 5-2 in Salzburg's favour. The necessity to push forward was really more on Brand's side than it was on Salzburg's, but that's not the case right now, and you can see it from Salzburg. The corner's whipped in, headed behind. It'll be another Red Bull Salzburg corner. Rasmussen claps his hands together in frustration because he was close to that at the front post. Little shake of the head from Hans van Aken. A man with the captain's armband for Club Brugge. Instrumental going forward, but also in defence for Nicky Hayen's team. Mignolet with his arms up. Kjærgaard in swinging corner into the 6-yard box. Vertessen underneath it. Two of them in there for Salzburg. It's flicked on. Nothing falling to a red and white shirt to get a shot away, crucially. It fell kindly for Club Brugge, and Meijer had to just clear it for the throw-in. Kretzig to take. Zogele Nene with the step over. Can he unlock some of that pace? Not really much space to use it at the moment, but he'll drop it back towards Diabate. It was a little bit short there. Diabate was chopped down, and referee Jovanovic is going to reach for the yellow card and get his notebook out. Onyedika, who's gone into the book. That was the pass that was sold a little bit short, but Diabate reacted in time. You can see from that view the studs up on top from Rafael Onyedika. The former Midtjylland man scored a goal and registered one assist as well in the UEFA Champions League last season, the Nigerian. Now he's in the referee's notebook. Mignolet marshalling the Brugge back line. Mao and Kitano waiting to take this one. Which will it be, left footer or right footer? Now Kjærgaard with the hander. Kitano the right footed in swinging option. 7.5 minutes into the second half action. Salzburg set piece from the left. Kjærgaard left footed high and long, but just ballooned the contact. Puts a hand up in apology and looks down to the turf. That was not what Salzburg wanted at this stage of the game. They'd done well to keep Brugge back in their own penalty box. The ball just got a flyer off the laces. That's most unlike Kjærgaard. It does happen to the best of them. It's a let-off for Club Brugge though. Salzburg haven't given them too many let-offs today. They've made life difficult for the illustrious opposition. It's an awkward encounter for both teams. Two teams, of course, who are big names in Champions League football. Brugge not always used to having to go through qualifiers. In the past, they've gone through 12 UEFA Champions League qualifying adventures, and they've qualified on 5 of those occasions for the group stage or league phase, and now they've got a chance from the right-hand side. The cross is all wrong off the boot of Rice. tried to just dink it back across the box with his right foot, and Reis just snatched at the contact, sent the ball slicing over the top and away for a Salzburg goal kick. Nicky Hayen gesticulating to his players, barking out instructions. He's just seen Onyedika go into the book on his 50th European appearance in total. Brugge want the free kick, but they won't get one. It'll be a Salzburg throw instead, and now Salzburg will get the free kick instead, and that's going to rile Nicky Hayen. Romeo Famont jogs away. Brugge not getting what they wanted on that occasion. Bistro. Yadu. You have to remember that these are the 19-time Belgian champions. Last won the league in 23-24. Won the cup recently in Belgium as well, and the Super Cup at the beginning of this season. Salzburg holding up really well, giving a good account of themselves so far, but they've got to sink their teeth in the attack more in the remainder of this second half. As much as it has been a solid performance from Salzburg up until this point, it would be Nicky Hayen and his team who'd go away the happier with a 0-0 draw from Salzburg. The old stadium, Jan Breidel, would be rocking next week for the home leg. It'll be tough for Salzburg to come away with too much from there. Ideally, they've got to give themselves an advantage. But now it's Club Brugge's turn to deflect the ball and stop Salzburg from making the clearance. But that's a great touch. Dojele Nene, he can get away over the halfway line. Say's in a bit of trouble, but the pass not quite good enough. Kiergaard giving chase. It looked as though Dojele Nene had done a lot of the hard work there, breaking away over the halfway line, but couldn't thread the pass through the way he wanted to. Club Brugge do have a historical link with Austria. I'm sure many football fans will know that the great Ernst Happel was in charge. The legendary Austrian manager was boss of Club Brugge, took them to a UEFA Cup final in '76 and a European Cup final in '78. There's an awkward clash of heads there with Diabate involved. So we're coming up towards the hour mark. Nicky Hayen and Thomas Lech will both be thinking about changes in the game at this point. What can Salzburg do to turn the tide in their favour? They've not done an awful lot wrong tonight. They've been solid at the back. They've tried their best to get forward. It's a long injury list tonight. At the beginning of the season, Thomas Lech's preparations have been disrupted with long-term injury absentees, and the likes of Melberg adding to that list with a serious knee injury, unfortunately. Kawamura, Konate and Yeo all out with knee problems as well, and it's Konate mainly who's missing perhaps at the start of this season. Could really use that extra attacking threat, but it's Club Brugge who have the free kick. They'll drift it in towards the back post. The header from a back-pedalling Brandon Mechele. Well, it could have been dangerous for Club Brugge. Alex Schlager, the 29-year-old keeper, happy to let it go. He could see that that one was never going to catch the top corner. Now Dojele Nene down at the other end. He's got an overlapping run there from Diabate. Step over from Diabate, earns himself a bit of room, fires it into the side netting. Soumaïla Diabate crashing the ball across from the left side. Well, it was a shot to nothing from there, but had it crept inside the post, it was only a foot or so away. That would have been very awkward for Simon Mignolet. Kjærgaard doing well to get a touch on the ball. Maybe Salzburg can win it back in a good position. Not this time. It's cut out well. Athletic defending from Johan Gadou. You do feel that there are opportunities in this for the Red Bulls. Brugge with their first European game of the season. There's clearly a lot of quality amongst the black and blues here, but Salzburg have had the answers that they needed so far. They just cannot quite carve out the gilt-edged chance in front of goal. Another cross, balloons off the boot, all the way over the penalty area. Nobody anywhere near that. Kretzig back in possession. Down the left he goes for Dorgelé Néné, who's getting into this second half now. An hour gone now at the Stadion Salzburg, as it's known in Europe, or the Red Bull Arena. It is a pleasure to have you along for the ride today on RBS TV. It's Red Bull Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 0. It's the UEFA Champions League third qualifying round. It's the first leg. Salzburg have to give themselves a platform to take away to Belgium for next week. At the moment, 0-0 is a tight and awkward platform. It would leave Club Brugge with the upper hand for the game next Tuesday. It's a 7:30 kickoff in Brugge. It's a beautiful city to go to. Maybe a chance opening up now for Brugge. Good initial save, and it's tucked away for a corner. Appeals towards the referee that shouldn't have stood for Club Brugge. Now that's the first time all night long that Alex Schlager has had to react in that kind of fashion. Had to get down low to his right-hand side. The ball back across was dangerous as well. And Kretzig kept a cool head to slot it off the field safely for a corner. Reis going close, and now he'll take the corner. That's the best that Club Brugge have done. What do they have to offer now from the resulting corner? Reis with the delivery. Header will go back from whence it came. Reis will pick it back up on the byline, but the touch goes off the field. And Salzburg again survive against one of Club Brugge's better moments. Reis just managing to get the ball dug out of his feet. So Alex Schlager clearly warmed up and ready. It's the first time he's really been called upon, and he was there to spring into action and tip the ball away. Really good goalkeeping, as you'd expect. The referee reaching for his card here. Both players still down on the field. Referee Jovanovic waiting for them to get back to their feet. It's going to be a Club Brugge free kick. Dorgelé Néné, who came crashing in there. Bistrup losing out initially to Vetlesen. And then I think Vetlesen just turned to shield the ball in a way that Dorgelé Néné was not expecting. Tried to pull out of the challenge, ended up taking a knock on the shin himself. Brugge restart things, and they've got it back in the centre circle. Spileers out towards Van Aken, who tries to make something happen from anywhere on the pitch. Van Aken. It's no surprise when you see him digging out a challenge in defence, acting as a playmaker in midfield, slotting away a finish up top. He's a man that does it all, Hans Van Aken. No surprise whatsoever that he's entrusted with the captain's armband for Club Brugge. Header from Diabate is out for a throw, and the referee's going to put a stop to the game for a moment for a change. So it's the end of the evening from our Kiergaard. On will come Edmund Baidu and Kerim Alaibegovic. So it's Vertessen and Kiergaard who go off. Vertessen put in a great shift in the first half, Kiergaard as well. A bit of energy conservation needed with more Bundesliga football to come, and obviously the second leg just around the corner next week. Alaibegovic and Edmund Baidu, the two new players on the field. Here is Alaibegovic. Good movement from the number 27 as well. The new man at the club, Alaibegovic, just 17 years of age. The German who got on the score sheet in the first round of the Cup. Really impressed in the German junior Bundesliga in the last couple of years with Bayern 04. They've been one of the best, of course, in senior football, but even in German junior football too. Bayern 04, a real powerhouse name, full of young talents, and Alaibegovic, certainly one of those excellent young talents. Skips away from Reis, gets the ball across the middle, and it's a tough one to deal with for Mechele. It's a little bit fortunate in the end, Brandon Mechele, that one bounces towards Simon Mignolet. Edmund Baidu, who's come on as well, 19 years of age, the Ghanaian. Got 2 goals and 3 assists in just 7 appearances for the under-19 side of Salzburg last season. 4 goals in Bundesliga football as well. Seis. Vetlesen has to go back to Seis, and Seis himself has to go back to Spileers. Brugge knocking it around the defence, and they'll try and loop the ball over the top down the left flank, but nobody was on the same wavelength. Mechele staring into space there, wondering what on earth went wrong for Club Brugge. The ball boy hops over the fence to make sure that one doesn't count as being on the field. Referee Jovanovic wanted it cleared. And Salzburg just want to up the ante a little bit. Club Brugge, really for the first time in the second half, have started to take control of things just a little bit in the last few minutes. That's probably why Alaibegovic and Baidu have been brought on at this particular time, to try and disrupt the momentum. Pass out to the right-hand side. Now there's momentum on Salzburg's side. Sorta Kitano side foots the volley up and over the top. A chance from out of nowhere though. Brugge leaving Bistrup unmarked really. He got it out to the right hand side for Baidu. Kitano couldn't quite keep it down from a decent position. It's chances like that Salzburg have got to make the most of. It's not a glaring miss by any means for the young Japanese player. But when you're up against a team with the quality of Club Brugge, Salzburg know they've got to be efficient. They've got to get a goal from something like that. They've got to turn a half chance into a 1-0 lead if they're to give themselves a really good foothold for next week. Baidu taking on Mechele. Down to the corner flag he goes. Is there an option further in? Kitano drops it off but gets it back. Kitano fouled by Mechele. Free kick from just outside the box over on that right-hand side. This is not in a bad position. It won't be easy to do anything with it from there. Kitano, so much energy, just had too much speed. His footwork and his thinking were just a little bit too quick for Brandon Mechele. Now, is this something that Red Bull Salzburg can make the most of Nesbistrup lurking on the edge of the box. Ali Begovic will be the one to take. Plenty of red and white shirts in the middle. Basically everybody back for Club Brugge. Ali Begovic lifts it into the 6-yard box. Nobody can get a head on it. All the way across it goes. And Spileers will let it go off for a throw-in. A little bit disappointing for Salzburg. We've said it before in this second half, but these are the kind of opportunities that you really want to be getting something on target and testing Simon Mignolet. Got to get a red and white shirt underneath that. Give somebody a chance to head it towards the target. Just make something happen for Salzburg from somewhere. They've done so much right in this game, which is now 70 minutes old. Back it goes to Schlager. Into the last 20 minutes of normal time in this first leg. It's UEFA Champions League third qualification round action. Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 0. The Belgium team perhaps coming in as the favourites. Thomas Lech was not having any of that though. He said he sees this as an even game. Two teams that feel that they deserve to be part of the Champions League. Salzburg certainly want to be back there. Club Brugge, after reaching the last 16, definitely feel that missing out would be a shock and a disappointment to start the season with, but from a half chance that didn't really open up at one end, maybe something can open up at the other end. Schlager makes the save at the near post, and it's the best save he's made all night. That's two now that Schlager's had to get down to. Solis almost opening the door for Club Brugge. A goal now in Salzburg for the Belgians. That would put Red Bull Salzburg in a really difficult position. And Gadu was in a bit of trouble, lost his footing at a really bad moment. And Solis was able to drift into the box unchallenged, really, but he couldn't get the better of Schlager. Great stop. Referee gives the players in the 6-yard box a talking to, but it'll be a Club Brugge corner after this, and you can see the scrap there inside the 6-yard box. Surely the ball's going right into that danger zone. Can they test Schlager? Really good clear punch from Schlager. Beats the ball away, and it's volleyed further out by Baidu. It's a bit more of an open game now. Just before that good chance for Solis. There was a chance that failed to materialise for Salzburg, but they got into an awfully good position. How much more of that will we see? Is the game opening up now and leading us towards a first goal for somebody? Pressure building for Salzburg, really, to up the ante and try and get this first goal. Red Bull Salzburg have the home advantage, and they're determined to make the most of it. They've really given this a good go against a very, very solid opposition. But Club Brugge are not going to sit back and simply let Red Bull Salzburg knock on the door for the next 20 minutes. If Salzburg do get on the front foot, Brugge will be very happy to play on the counter and try and strike whenever the ball comes back their way. We've seen that evidenced already in the last few minutes. That one's chipped forward. Bit of space on the edge of the box. Got to be careful with the challenges in that position, and everybody was just about careful enough. It's cut out nicely, and yes, booted forward up to the halfway line, but there's nobody there in red and white. Mignolet can pick it up almost on the edge of the Salzburg half. That shows that Brugge are in a good position at the moment, and now they're in a great position in the tie. Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 1. Romeo Famont drifting into the middle, and this time Schlager can't get anything behind it to keep it out. It's a hammer blow for Red Bull Salzburg in the first leg. They've done everything but score, and now they've been punished by Club Brugge. It's harsh on Thomas Letsch's team. Nicky Hyen will be delighted. Romeo Famont gives Club Brugge the advantage in the game and in the tie. Didn't score in his 5 Champions League appearances last season. Scored 9 times in league football, and now he scored a crucial goal. Just got there before Jakob Rasmussen, and from that position there was nothing that Alex Schlager could do. Just drifted across. Romeo Famont. Maya with the cross. Decent delivery, you have to say. And Jakob Rasmussen, who's been excellent tonight, just couldn't get the right side of the number 17 Famont. Big moment in the first leg. Maybe a big moment in the tie too. So Kitano Sota has been withdrawn. Petr Radkov is on. It's an attacking change, unsurprisingly, for Thomas Letsch. Brugge bring on one of their new signings, Alexander Stankovic. Hugo CET on the field as well. And Salzburg will look to try and get an immediate equaliser. They did manage it at this ground against Escobran. Alay Begovic knocks it off, and there's a shot, a fierce shot towards the goal that Mignolet does well to get down and save this time. That was reminiscent of some of the stops that Alex Schlager's had to make in this second half. That was hammered towards the corner. Salzburg are not giving up on this just yet. No way. Kretzig. Back it goes to Diabate. Great response from the Red Bulls. Rasmussen. Still 15 minutes to go in the tie. It is now imperative, you feel, that Red Bull Salzburg can at least get a leveller here tonight. Alay Begovic plays it in towards Soumaïla Diabate. Gadou tries to pick up the pace. Will send the pass down to the right-hand side, and it's well weighted. Salzburg have Baidu on the end of it. They've got Nene waiting in the middle, and it falls kindly here. Can they get the shot away? Kretzig opted for the final touch to take it away from the defender, but the shooting opportunity just gone in the blink of an eye. That's the quality that Club Brugge have, and that's a great back heel from the goal scorer Famont to turn this into a Club Brugge counter opportunity. Maya, who got the assist. Good ball across the middle, and it's tipped away by Alexander Schlager, who's been increasingly busy as this second half wears on. Nothing he could have done about the goal, but just about everything else he's dealt with brilliantly. Confirmation that Joaquin Seis has gone off and Hugo CET is on. Back it goes to Mignolet. Mignolet knocks it out inside the penalty area. 2 Salzburg players forward, but Brugge keep hold of it, but not for long. Alay Begovic wins it back, and he's dispossessed. The referee points to the spot saying that the ball was won. Brugge can keep it in play over on the left-hand side, but it'll be won back by Salzburg, and now can they turn this into something? Can they transition forward? Not this time. Salzburg have responded well to going behind. Diabate lays the pass off. Radkov Gets a bit of a lucky break and he threads the pass through. Good strike from the near side. Nene tries to whip up the crowd there behind the goal, but Mignolet has been forced into another solid stop. Radkov threading it through. Nene smashing it towards the target. Salzburg try again. It's flashed across the face of goal, and Dojele Nene says, why wasn't that laid off to me? I was in the better position. Superb signs of life from Red Bull Salzburg, though. The tie is not dead yet. Yes, Club Brugge have put themselves in a good position, but Salzburg are not taking this lying down. There's the latest of Alex Schlager's saves in this second half. And here was the immediate response. A thunder strike from Diabate. As Salzburg come forward again, and that's hacked clear for a throw-in. Salzburg have the crowd behind them. They've got the wind in their sails a little bit at the moment now, with 10 minutes to go. Salzburg stay in possession. It's looped over the top, but it's a little bit too short. Brugge can win the header at least, but out it goes for a Red Bull Salzburg throw. Rasmussen. Alajbegovic. Kredzig. Gadu out to the right-hand side. The stadium announcer reveals the arrangements to get fans back into the city centre after this one, but for now, we've still got just about 10 minutes more of a gripping UEFA Champions League qualifier still to come. The ball's chipped through. Radkov down the left-hand side. Can he pick somebody out in the middle? Radkov tries to go himself. It's still alive at the back post. Did Mignolet get there in time to punch that away from the goal line? The referee signals for the physios to come on. Dojele Nene has gone down after a knock to the head. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like a nasty clash of heads in the middle. Everybody had the right to go for that ball, but Simon Mignolet has just bailed out Club Brugge here. How unlucky for Red Bull Salzburg. Radkov in a good position, great footwork to go further, went himself from the angle. Nene winning the header, but Mignolet did get there in time. No question that goal line technology needs to look at this one. It was a clear-cut case that Mignolet punched it out before it had crossed the line, before it had even got to the line. And there was an awkward clash there after the header from Nene, with Maya still going upwards. This game has sprung to life in the second half. Both teams were just feeling each other out in the first 45 minutes. It was a very balanced game, and it's remained a very balanced game. But crucially, it's Club Brugge who have got the only goal of the contest, a hammer blow for Red Bull Salzburg, and it's harsh on Thomas Letsch's team that they're trailing 1-0 here. There's still time for Salzburg to rescue something here. It would be no less than they deserve. Mignolet with a tremendous stop. Chances stacking up now since Romeo Fermont put Club Brugge ahead. Diabate firing a low shot on target that was nearly the immediate equaliser. Radkov now has set up Dojele Nene twice, once with a through ball and another time with a shot that Mignolet was behind both. Radkov's shot and Nene's header. Well, if it does stay at 1-0 to Club Brugge, they'll certainly be in the box seat ahead of the second leg. But Salzburg can't be disheartened given the nature of the performance that they've put on here today. It's a big test against Club Brugge. Salzburg have proven that they're really capable of holding their own and more here. This could easily be 1-0 to Red Bull Salzburg. Pass knocked back inside. Good footwork. Rasmussen can try and break down the middle. Bistrup turned but didn't see an option. The pass is overhit long towards the left-hand side. Kretzig was lurking down there in the box, but the pass was just too hard and too long. Mignolet trots back towards the edge of the 6-yard box with 5 minutes left of normal time. Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 1. Björn Meyer whipping across in towards Romeo Fermont. And Fermont, from about 6 yards out, was able to just get the better of Rasmussen in the middle and simply prod the ball past Alex Schlager and in. And Club Brugge will be absolutely delighted to be leading. There's a slip in defence. Salzburg have it back. Bistrup, the defence scrambling to get back into a good position here. Alay Begovic, now a crossing opportunity. It's deflected behind for a corner. There's been a lot of character in this response from Red Bull Salzburg. A little bit of gamesmanship there from Club Brugge. They kept the extra ball on the pitch there to deny Red Bull Salzburg the chance to take the corner quickly. Ball played over into the middle, headed down. But it hits a red and blue shirt and it's played away to the halfway line. Diabate trying to recycle this and keep this alive with Salzburg forward in numbers still. Schlager. Rasmussen awaits. Diabate, who's now dropped into a more defensive role. Salzburg trying to get more players forward, more red and white shirts into the final third. Kretzig, good decision to step inside. Sold that well, Franz Kretzig. Into the last 3 minutes of the game we go, of normal time at least. There will be a bit of stoppage time added. We had a couple of injury breaks. Nothing too serious, thankfully. And the stoppage for Club Brugge's goal, the only goal of the game so far. Is that about to change? Alay Begovic gets his way round. Alay Begovic fires it across. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. Salzburg getting no reward for another good foray forward. Zaid Romero coming on to bolster the defence. The 25-year-old Argentine started at the weekend in league football. Played once in the UEFA Champions League last season. It's Björn Meyer who got the assist, who's heading off, and there's an attacking change as well for Nicky Hayen. Coach Hayen brings on Carlos Forbes. Forbes, the young Portuguese left-sided winger. They paid $6 million to acquire his services. He used to play for Wolves in the English Premier League. Made 10 Premier League appearances last season, Carlos Forbes. Now on for the last couple of minutes in this first leg, and Mignolet will boot the ball over the halfway line and downfield. 90 seconds of the 90 remaining. Svetlesen, who's gone off with Meyer. Is there something left in this for Salzburg? They'd be good value for a goal here. A late leveller could just change the nature of the tie ahead of next week's second leg. Good return pass. It was a nice idea, but Brugge were equal to it. They've not been able to exploit anything on the counter since going a goal to the good. Salzburg have managed this contest by and large very well indeed. They can count themselves very unlucky to be trailing. This is the quality that Club Brugge have. Salzburg have worked so hard to carve out chances, but Mignolet's been able to defuse all of them. Schlager made a couple of key saves for Salzburg as well, but there was nothing he could do against the goal from Vermont. It's putting Club Brugge in a really strong position. Salzburg will still try and change that though. And they certainly deserve at least a 1-1 draw out of this. Rasmussen. Alajbegovic gets away from Forbes. Pass into the middle. Nini. 5 minutes added on. 5 minutes for Salzburg to rescue something from this game. They scored deep into stoppage time at the weekend. Can they do the same in the Champions League here? The break would have been on there. There's going to be a yellow card. Salzburg dealt with that very well in the end. Rasmussen, who looked to be in all kinds of trouble, slid down to the ground, but made an absolutely perfect challenge. I think when the ball goes out, we might see referee Jovanovic reaching for his pocket, but for now, Baidou's got it. Down into the corner he goes. Little Marseille roulette from Baidou, and the ball's cleared. Salzburg ball. It came off the boot of Forbes. Another new player coming on for Club Brugge. Nicky Hayen sending on Nicolo Tresoldi, signed from Hanover. Tresoldi on. Goal scorer Romeo Vermont off. Diabate again has to pass it out to the right hand side. Brugge have been well organised. Cross blocked. Leiner digs out the corner. 90 seconds gone in stoppage time. Time for another couple of chances maybe for Red Bull Salzburg, but time is running out in this first leg. It's the UEFA Champions League third qualification round. Europa League football is in the bank for Salzburg, but they want more. Nini snatched at the shot, got underneath it. Might have bobbled off the turf just before it hit the boot of Georges Nini, but unfortunately for Salzburg, it was well up and over with Simon Mignolet completely untested in the Club Brugge goal, and he can knock off a couple of seconds from the clock as well as he waits to get this restarted. We're just about halfway through the 5 minutes added here. Booted forward down the left-hand side. Salzburg will win the second ball. Alajbegovic, again, he's drifted inside nicely. Shown good footwork tonight, Alajbegovic. He's impressed since he's come on. Bistrup. Into the area they go. Can they get the shot away? Again, Club Brugge able to turn away the Salzburg players when they get into the area. That's been a theme of this first leg. The cross deflects up. Rasmussen. Loose ball is his. 2 minutes remaining. Referee Jovanovic not quite looking for the watch just yet. Ball into the middle's a good one. The header down is not quite as good, unfortunately, from Georges Nini. He's given it everything tonight. Maybe his biggest moment came in the first half, where he completely outpaced the Club Brugge defence and maybe could have earned a free kick, or rather a penalty for Salzburg in that first 45. Miscued the header this time. A really spirited display it has been from the Red Bulls tonight. They might be on the cusp of going down to a 1-0 defeat, but the Club Brugge faithful will be absolutely delighted with this result. This would leave Salzburg in a really tough position for the second leg, and they don't deserve it. What they deserve is at least an equaliser, and there might be a chance to get something. There's still another minute to play. Can they win this ball back, or can Brugge get it away and run out the clock on the counter, or worse? 3 forward in black and blue. Forbes well offside. Schlager will pick this up, and maybe there is a chance for Salzburg to carve out one more opportunity. The distribution, so often so good from the boot of Schlager, but this time it's run away from Radkov. Brugge pick up possession again with the throw-in. That might be all that there is time for. Salzburg need the ball back, and they need it quickly. What they don't need is Rasmussen to lose his footing awkwardly. Redzig just about keeps it in play. Is there one more chance to hammer the ball forward and get something out of this game? It's one back on the edge of the area. It's passed back to Mignolet, but he gets the clearance just in time. The referee thought about blowing his whistle. He's going to leave this for another few seconds. Time running out for Salzburg. Diabate has to keep this. There is the full-time whistle. Referee Srdjan Jovanovic brings the game to a close. Nicky Hayen delighted with a first leg win for Club Brugge. Salzburg so unfortunate to come away with nothing from this first leg match. They took the game to Club Brugge. The expression on the face of Thomas Lech says it all. They really gave it everything at home in the first leg here. The position looks very difficult indeed for Salzburg approaching the second leg, but they can be full of belief at least after a strong performance against this tradition-steeped Belgian side. Club Brugge have snuck away with a 1-0 win here, but Salzburg left everything out there on the field. A much more attacking display than we saw last week. They gave it such a good go. Simon Mignolet to the rescue of Club Brugge time and time again. But crucially, the only goal of the game came from Romeo Famont, 75 minutes in. Bjorn Meyer's cross. Famont with a clinical finish, nothing that Alex Schlager could do. But then chance after chance for Red Bull Salzburg. They almost had the immediate equaliser. Soumaïla Diabate smashing a shot on goal that Mignolet had to get down and save at his near post. That came just seconds after the opening goal. And then the link-ups between Radkov and Dogeles Nene. Radkov sliding a through ball in. Nene firing towards the target. Mignolet was able to beat it away. And then maybe the last big chance in the 83rd minute. Radkov firing on target from the angle. Tried to go it alone from a tight angle on the left. Mignolet saved that too. And crucially, Dogeles Nene won the follow-up. Headed it towards what looked like an empty net. But Simon Mignolet got back and made the recovery save. And Salzburg did everything but score in this first leg. We'll leave you with the highlights in just a moment. And there are plenty of highlights from a Red Bull Salzburg perspective. They created the chances. They tested Club Brugge on so many occasions tonight. And they can feel awfully hard done by to come away with a 1-0 defeat and nothing more to show for their efforts in Salzburg tonight. It's finished Red Bull Salzburg 0, Club Brugge 1. Do join us again next week. It's a Tuesday night game at 7:30 at the Jan Bredel Stadium in Brugge. It is Club Brugge who are in the driving seat though, thanks to Romeo Famont and his solitary goal for Club Brugge tonight. Salzburg on the losing end of an even encounter, but they can feel